check. Good morning. May I ask you all please to be seated? Welcome to day 2 of the Pathfinder Indian Ocean Security Conference. Today's session will be on climate change, maritime disaster management, and blue-green economy. The moderator will be Dr. Turney Pradeep Kumara, Professor of Oceanography, Department of Oceanography and Marine Geology, University of Ruhuna, Sri Lanka. He will introduce the rest of the panel. Thank you.
Good morning to you all, and let's start today's proceedings. Ambassador retired Bernard Gunathilaka, sir, and Ambassador retired Shivashankar Menon, sir. Diplomats, heads of institutes, panel presenters, panelists, Pathfinder team, ladies and gentlemen. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you here today for the second day for our session on climate change, maritime disaster management, and blue economy. This session comes as our third session on the Pathfinder in Indian Ocean Security Conference organized in Colombo, 28-29 February 2024. So in this conference, we put Sri Lanka in the Indian Ocean context, at the same time global context. So we can see that in our topic, Pathfinder Indian Ocean Security Conference. So in the security, the word, it mainly focusing on defense, but today we are focusing on defense in the environment. In that case, we talk about food security, environment security, and again, social security. So everything is parceled in climate change, maritime disaster management, and blue-green economy topic. So today we have three eminent panelists, Dr. Richard Gio. He's with us today, but online we are joining with Dr. Ataullah Rashid, and again Dr. Rashid Uzzaman. So they will be joining online today. So in climate change perspective, if I give a small briefing, so we talk about ocean acidification, sea level rise, ocean current changes, wind pattern changes, erosion, and thermal dynamics changes. But maritime disaster perspective, we talk about in Indian Ocean perspective, we talk about Wakashiho issue, and in Sri Lanka we have New Diamond oil spill, and the most worst, the Express Pearl disaster. So we have those experiences. At the same time, in blue economy perspective, we used to talk about blue economy, but today our topic is blue-green economy. In blue economy, we talk about how to manage our ocean in more sustainable way, take more food, take more energy, take more ocean resources in more sustainable way, targeting SDGs. At the same time, blue-green concept, when it comes to the green concept, we talk about how to use sustainable energy in ocean perspective. So to talk about everything, we have three panelists. I'm not going to talk about everything, but they have been given a big task to mix all these three topics: blue economy, blue-green economy, climate change, maritime disaster management, and what are the experience they are having, and how we move forward within next couple of years on these topics. So our first speaker is Dr. Richard Gio, and he's having a PhD in neuroscience.
Correct.
Sure, in 19 98, but he then became a conservationist, environmentalist, and activist. And he has a number of projects under his belt. He directs Conservation International in Asia Pacific region. He oversees 13 countries for their strategic and outcomes in these projects. At the same time, he is with 20 years experience in conservation and conservation science across the globe. And he was a Montana State Director, permanently protected more than 250,000 acres of critically important private lands. It's a huge area, the large projects. At the same time, he, with CI, Conservation International, he dealt with one of the largest projects with about $500 million Montana Legacy project that is in Canada. And again, he conserved about 21 million acres, again, through Coastal Forest Nations project that's again based in Canada. So without taking much of your time, Dr. Richard, the floor is open for you, and it's a privilege to have you here, sir.
Okay, well, it's fantastic being here, and yesterday was a very interesting day and an unusual day for me, because as such a kind introduction, thank you. But I'm a scientist, and I've been working in conservation for the last couple decades, so I don't get to talk about like defense or think about defense and geopolitics and the very important issues that our world is facing, other than reading about it in the papers or on the news. But reflecting on this, unusual partnerships, between NGOs, between scientists, between conservationists, and issues like defense are things that the world needs today. And this is what I'll talk about. What is this nexus, this link between defense of our worlds, and safety, security, and the natural world, especially oceans. And what I hope to get is not just talk, but I hope that we can come together around some action. Because we've all been in these kind of meetings, and they're very engaging to our brains. But what I would like us to move forward with a little bit of heart, and really try to move forward something together. And there's a real opportunity. There's a need. And I think it's a place where Sri Lanka can lead. So what I'll talk about today is this project that we're doing in Indonesia called the Blue Halo. And the idea here is that conservation should pay for itself. We should get out of these vicious cycles where we draw down nature to make money, and then it leaves our communities and these countries in a worse financial state, and nature is in a terrible state. Can we create more virtuous cycles that self-finance oceans that actually do increase health and prosperity of communities, of states, and do something for the world that the world needs, absolutely needs. So next slide, please. Do I have the clicker? Oh, I can do it. Okay. So the ocean. Everything we spoke about yesterday really links to the ocean, this vast thing that we all depend on the planet. And there's a couple of truisms, things that are just true. And two of these things are very underappreciated. And one of them is nature, and especially the ocean, is at least 40% of the solution to the climate crisis. That means it's 40% of the problem, meaning destruction of nature, degradation of ecosystems, mangroves, coral reefs, tropical forests, temperate forests, grasslands, emit carbon into the atmosphere. And that's 40% of the emissions, at least. So what does that mean? It means even if we completely are successful in decarbonizing fossil fuel use for energy, transportation, et cetera, the world will still warm over 1.5 degrees. Science tells us this. It's very underappreciated because most of the effort goes towards that decarbonization effort. And in fact, the science also says, the analysis says clearly, to stay cooler than 1.5, nature has to transition from a net emitter of carbon to a net carbon sink over the next 2 decades. I can share a report we did called the Exponential Roadmap for Nature-Based Solutions that really clearly lays this out as authored by Conservation International and the Potsdam Institute, and Dr. Johan Rockström. This other truism that's part of this fact that we all depend on nature, and nature needs to be much more focused in terms of the solution for climate, is that the oceans are doing the most for the Earth's climate of any ecosystem just from their sheer size and physicality. Think about it. It's, oceans are something like 70% of the Earth's surface, and and as we learned yesterday, it's not just like a flat surface. It has three-dimensionality. It has depth. It's a real vibrant, living ecosystem. And the oceans are literally absorbing this heat, because water has this high specific heat capacity, and it's more than just a tank of salt water. I think those of you in the military, you're always there on top.